Good morning and happy Friday. We've made it through another week. My name is Susan Ward and I'm with the Bureau of Student Wellness for the New Hampshire Department of Education. And I want to thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm just going to wait a couple of seconds just to make sure Facebook Live notifications are going out and it allows people to have a chance to join us this morning. Also, please continue to join us every day, weekday at 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. for our live discussions. During our 3 p.m. live sessions, we've been inviting professionals in New Hampshire to open up discussions about important topics such as suicide prevention, trauma, and next week at 3 p.m. we'll be featuring a 3-part series about actions to keep children safe as a mandated reporter during the pandemic. So, please make sure you join us at those times. I think that will be happening Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. So, before I begin discussing the topic about how administrators and school mental health staff can help teachers that may be struggling with remote learning, it's important to say the information provided is a culmination from research, teachers and colleagues. And this week, I've really had a chance to listen to teachers and their concerns and colleagues and their perspectives and suggestions. And I'm also fortunate enough to have the ability to step into my former teaching shoes and pull from my past experiences as an educator in providing information on this topic. And it's not a surprise. Families, children, adults, teachers, everyone's struggling during this time. Many people are struggling financially and emotionally. Parents aren't able to go to work, students are learning from home, and teachers have rearranged their curriculum in record time in order to provide instruction remotely. They're navigating the challenges of technology and accessibility, and in many cases, having their own children at home. So what's it mean to be an educator at this time? Well, we know students are not in their typical classroom routines or in the same physical space as their classmates and teachers. And teachers are also missing their students and the structure that they've been able to provide during the time that they were in school. Teachers are finding it challenging to provide the sense of control they've always had in that brick and mortar structure. Educators are in this profession to interact with their students, teach content, while also being compassionate and fostering positive relationships. Teachers are not only used to providing instruction in the classroom, but on a daily basis, they're a nurse, a counselor, a cheerleader, and helping students really develop that growth mindset. And that's a difficult role to continue to fulfill when having to move to remote instruction. So educators are navigating this teaching in an entirely different way. Teachers are working hard to provide the right instruction with thoroughness and efficiency, and suddenly they're faced with a challenge in figuring out how to navigate that over a computer screen. They're typically busy, noisy, full days are now spent recording messages alone in their home office or at their dining room table. And when their messages are complete, it's waiting in a Google Classroom to be viewed by the student. They're left in a quiet room without the student interaction and without the positive energy of the back and forth conversation. And isolation is replacing the busy hum of the classroom. Teachers are also working with an unequal playing field. There are families that may have one child that can access a computer all day, and then families that have several children and they're all sharing that one computer the family has. And then we have families that have no internet at all. Teachers are worried about their students that used to receive regular support daily, and now all they can do is reach out. And when their efforts go unanswered, they grow concerned and worried and just want to help, while also trying to find that balance of not overwhelming the child or family with numerous amounts of emails and phone calls. This challenge happened so quickly. 1 minute teachers were working with their students in the school, and over the weekend, they were informed that they'd be teaching remotely. There's left no time to create a system that works for everyone. Teachers may also be concerned knowing that there are some things that can't be taught online, such as learning how to interact with the world and society. They may be worrying about the long-term effects that this will have on their students that struggle with social situations. This may leave teachers feeling helpless and not being able to meet the needs of all their learners. And there may be pressure from administrators for teachers to perform the same exact duties online the way they were in the actual classroom. And due to an abundance of factors, this feels impossible. And not knowing that the academic year will be completed at home, this leaves teachers and students with the overshadowing feeling of having no closure. It's important to mention teachers and students are used to working in a system, and now we're all using our own systems. Teachers are working in multiple systems and in silos alone, and this increases their workload by hours a day. They may not have the opportunity to collaborate with colleagues. So something to consider at this time also is if physiological needs are not being met for the child or for the parents, they're not going to be in a place to get their educational needs met. And we covered a little bit of this earlier in the week. So for a more in-depth look, please see our Facebook Live session, Maslow Before Bloom's video, and that was from earlier in the week. Another thing to consider is looking at parents' past experiences and those that may have had a negative experience with school as a child. They may be dealing with an emotional response to having the school sitting with their child in their own living room. There might be a sense of shame about how their house looks or the chaotic environment in the background. Teachers and administrators are in this field because they're helpers. And right now they may be finding the need to regulate their own emotions together before they can help others, or before they can help others regulate. Co-regulating with colleagues and other staff members can allow teachers to have a safe place to be vulnerable and can be helpful in processing strong emotions and challenges. If you're an administrator or mental health staff, you may be wondering how to help your teachers in your school district. There are a few things you can do to help, and with that being said, the suggestions below may not work for every district due to the factors that we've already discussed. Teachers may be feeling pressure to perform the exact way they were in the classroom, and unfortunately, this is not an equal playing field, and some services provided in school at the school setting are not possible through an online setting. This is a time for teachers to be allowed to be patient with themselves and be allowed to keep things simple. And depending on the stress level at the students' homes, learning new material may not be possible. And looking at ways to support your teaching staff, be a good listener. Many teachers are spending more hours than before navigating this new way of learning and still completing report cards, fielding parents' frustrations, and discussing how they're going to evaluate students for the fourth quarter while they're working from home. Teachers may need to have a place to grieve the loss of their routines, class structure, and the loss of what they thought the future held with their students. Providing a safe space for teachers to co-regulate can be effective in supporting their emotional regulation that's needed. Encourage teachers to see their students. Visual check-ins are so important between teachers and students, and by seeing students' faces, even through a video chat, will help teachers see some of those nonverbal cues of maybe students who don't understand something, and it will allow those teachers to maintain that teacher-student relationship. Remind teachers to reach out to colleagues for help. Educators are not islands, even though teachers are basically working on their own in their homes alone, and they should have opportunities to check in or collaborate with administrators or other staff members for a sense of connection or to be able to support their experiences and provide and offer support. Research shows that talking about vicarious resilience will raise the likelihood of people having that experience. Vicarious resilience is basically when the professional experiences personal growth due to witnessing growth of clients. And although this is a concept used with trauma therapists, changing this dialogue with teaching colleagues can help teachers focus on what has been accomplished instead of the struggle that remains. So this can give teachers a sense of purpose, fulfillment, and motivation. Administrators can guide teachers by opening up this conversation shift. When teachers are able to see resilience in some of their students, it may give the teacher an opportunity to experience resilience in themselves. The concept is basically stay positive. Look for the successes. no matter how small. Identify strengths and potential, and remind teachers there is a greater purpose in what they're doing. Also, by you as administrators practicing this yourselves with staff, it'll help reinforce this concept. Many teachers teach concepts about resilience to their students, so it's important to really start stressing that same concept with teachers. And above all else, we need to look at the reality of the situation. This is not what educators are trained to do. Remind your teachers that they are providing emergency remote learning during a pandemic. Showing students you care is more important than providing the perfect instruction or lecture. You're only human at this time, and you may be providing more kindness and compassion than actual instruction. And if you're meeting the students where they're at, that's all you can do, and that's okay. Teachers need to remember to be kind to themselves. That's the real important message here. So I encourage people to use the comment section to provide other ideas or ways to support teachers that are struggling during this time, finding the balance of connecting with their students or juggling many systems. I encourage administrators to maybe have this conversation with other districts and find ways to work together. Please feel free to share any helpful strategies your district is doing to support teachers and staff at this time. Thank you for tuning in. Stay connected, get outside, and enjoy the fresh air this weekend. And remember to take care of you.